Darth Sidious, the shadowy architect of the Galactic Empire, was always a master of manipulation, bending entire systems and peoples to his will. Had he managed to bring the Nightsisters, the mystical and fearsome witches of Dathomir, into his fold, the galaxy's trajectory would have been far darker and more treacherous. The Nightsisters, with their deep connection to the Force, manifested through dark magics, would have given Sidious a formidable edge even before his rise to Emperor. Their alliance would not merely strengthen his hand, it would fundamentally reshape the nature of the galaxy's conflict, tilting the scales of power so irreversibly that the Jedi and their allies would stand little chance of victory. To draw the Nightsisters into his web, Sidious would exploit their precarious situation on Dathomir. Their existence was one of perpetual tension, surrounded by threats from the galaxy at large and their male counterparts, the Night Brothers, whom they subjugated. Sidious, with his unparalleled cunning, would approach the Nightsisters as both an ally and a potential benefactor, offering them protection, resources, and a role in his grand design. It's easy to envision Mother Talzin, the Nightsisters' leader and a shrewd tactician in her own right, cautiously accepting such an alliance. Talzin's hunger for power and survival would align with Sidious' ambitions, at least temporarily. The relationship between Sidious and Talzin would be intricate. Talzin, herself a practitioner of ancient and arcane Force techniques, might recognize the potential in Sidious' offer, but she would also understand the danger of allying with someone so overtly power-hungry. Still, Sidious' charm and ability to present himself as indispensable would likely outweigh her reservations. For Sidious, the Nightsisters would serve as a secret weapon, augmenting his Sith machinations with their potent magic. Their ability to conjure illusions, manipulate life and death, and even influence minds would be tools he could wield to devastating effect. With the Nightsisters at his command, Sidious would have been able to accelerate his plans for galactic domination. Before the Clone Wars erupted, the Nightsisters could have acted as covert agents of chaos, destabilizing Republic strongholds and sowing fear. Their magical prowess, combined with Sidious' strategic brilliance, would create a near-unstoppable force. For instance, Nightsister assassins might infiltrate Coruscant itself, targeting Jedi Masters or key senators, undermining the Republic's ability to respond effectively to the rising separatist threat. The Jedi Order, already stretched thin, would find itself besieged not only by political upheaval but by an enemy they barely understood. During the Clone Wars, the alliance between the Nightsisters and Sidious would prove even more catastrophic for the Republic. Sidious could deploy them as shadow operatives, sabotaging military campaigns or assassinating clone commanders and key Jedi generals. Their ability to manipulate the dark side of the Force in ways the Jedi could not counter would give the Separatists a unique advantage. Imagine a battlefield where Nightsisters raise fallen soldiers to fight again as undead warriors or summon storms of dark energy to obliterate Republic forces. The sheer terror they would instill in their enemies could break the morale of even the most disciplined troops. Yet, the alliance would not be without its complications. Mother Talzin's ambitions might clash with Sidious' overarching goals. As much as Talzin might value the power Sidious offered, she would also seek to ensure the Nightsisters' independence and dominance. This tension could lead to subtle power plays between the two, with each attempting to outmaneuver the other. Sidious, ever the puppeteer, would likely anticipate this and set contingencies in place to neutralize the Nightsisters if they became too much of a liability. Still, the synergy of their combined forces would overwhelm any opposition. Nightsister magic would enhance Sidious' already formidable Sith abilities, creating new and horrific weapons of war. Perhaps Talzin and her witches could imbue the Separatists' droid armies with a semblance of life, making them more unpredictable and deadly. Or they might develop rituals to disrupt hyperspace travel, stranding Republic fleets and cutting off supply lines. Such tactics would cripple the Republic's war effort, paving the way for Sidious' ultimate victory. Once the Republic fell and the Empire rose, the Nightsisters' role would evolve. Sidious, ever wary of threats to his power, might attempt to integrate them more tightly into his regime, perhaps by using their magic to enforce loyalty among his subordinates or to root out potential betrayals. Alternatively, he might turn on them, recognizing that their independence posed a threat to his absolute rule. But if Talzin were cunning enough, she might secure a lasting place for the Nightsisters within the Empire, perhaps as enforcers or advisors, ensuring their survival in the new galactic order. The galaxy under such a regime would be a bleak and terrifying place. The Nightsisters' dark magic, combined with Sidious Sith mastery, would create a reign of fear unlike anything seen before. Citizens of the Empire would not only live in fear of the Emperor's political and military might, but also the supernatural horrors unleashed by his Nightsister allies. Resistance movements would struggle to find a foothold, as Nightsister seers could locate hidden bases, and their assassins could eliminate leaders before rebellions could even begin. The Jedi Order, already decimated by Order 66, would face extinction as the Nightsisters hunted down survivors with ruthless efficiency. As the years passed, the Alliance would leave an indelible mark on the galaxy. The integration of Nightsister magic into the Empire's machinery would lead to technological and mystical advancements that further entrenched Sidious power. Clone experiments infused with Nightsister magic might produce super soldiers loyal only to the Emperor, while alchemical rituals could create new weapons capable of devastating entire planets. Even the Death Star, Sidious' ultimate instrument of control, might be enhanced with Nightsister enchantments, making it not only a physical but also a spiritual terror. Such a galaxy would have little hope for redemption. The rebellion, if it even formed, would face insurmountable odds. Luke Skywalker, the New Hope, might never rise to prominence, as the Nightsisters' foresight could identify and eliminate potential threats before they could mature. The balance of the Force, already skewed heavily toward darkness, might remain so indefinitely, plunging the galaxy into an endless cycle of fear and oppression. As the years unfolded under Sidious' dark empire strengthened by the Nightsisters, the galaxy would descend into a nightmare of unending oppression and dread. The Nightsisters, with their unmatched connection to the dark side of the Force and their unique magics, would shape the Empire into something far more malevolent than even Sidious alone could envision. Their presence would ripple through every corner of the galaxy, leaving no system untouched by their influence. From the Imperial courts on Coruscant to the desolate battlefields on Outer Rim worlds, their shadow would loom large, and their influence would permeate deeply. The Nightsisters' ability to manipulate life and death would profoundly affect the structure of the Empire. They could raise legions of the undead from fallen stormtroopers and rebels alike, creating a nightmarish new force for Sidious. These undead soldiers, immune to fear and pain, would be a terror on the battlefield, demoralizing any who dared to stand against the Empire. These forces, bolstered by Nightsister necromancy, would be further enhanced by Sith alchemy, creating a hybrid form of unnatural soldiers capable of overpowering even the strongest resistance fighters. Sidious, recognizing the Nightsisters' potential, might establish an elite cadre of warriors trained not only in Sith teachings but also in Nightsister magic. These shadow agents could blend the ferocity of Sith combat with the arcane rituals of Dathomir, creating warriors capable of unimaginable feats. They would operate as the Emperor's personal enforcers, rooting out dissent and ensuring the Empire's control over its vast territories. Even Vader, formidable as he was, might find himself sharing his role as Sidious' most trusted enforcer with a Nightsister chosen to serve as the dark mirror of a Jedi Knight. This alliance would also disrupt the power dynamics within the Empire. Figures like Grand Moff Tarkin or the Imperial Navy admirals, who relied on technology and strategy, might chafe under the influence of the Nightsisters and their unorthodox methods. The tension between the military-industrial complex of the Empire and the mystical dominance of the Nightsisters would create an undercurrent of internal strife, though Sidious would undoubtedly exploit this tension to maintain his position as the supreme arbiter of power. Any dissent within the Empire would be swiftly silenced, either through fear of the Nightsisters' magic or by their direct intervention. The cultural impact of the Nightsisters' integration into the Empire would also be profound. The once secular rule of the Empire would take on a deeply mystical and ritualistic undertone. Entire planets might be forced to adopt Nightsister practices, worshipping the dark side as interpreted by Dathomirian traditions. Monuments and temples dedicated to their magics could replace traditional symbols of imperial power, making the Nightsisters not just a political force but also a spiritual one. However, this dominance would not come without resistance. Even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, whispers of rebellion would persist. The remnants of the Jedi, though few and scattered, might attempt to unite against the combined might of Sidious and the Nightsisters. They would be forced to adapt, learning new ways to counter the dark magics of Dathomir while trying to preserve what little remained of their order. Such a rebellion, while noble, would face almost insurmountable odds. The Nightsisters' seers, with their ability to foresee threats, would make organizing any large-scale uprising nearly impossible. The effect of the Nightsisters' alliance with Sidious would extend even to the natural order of the Force itself. With the dark side so heavily reinforced, the balance of the Force would tilt dangerously, threatening the very fabric of existence. Planets might suffer under unnatural blights, with flora and fauna twisted by Nightsister magic. Entire systems could become lifeless husks as the Empire consumed their resources to fuel its endless wars and experiments. The galaxy would become a place of despair, with hope all but extinguished under the crushing weight of Sith domination. For the Nightsisters themselves, their place within the Empire would remain precarious. While they would revel in their newfound power and influence, they would also remain aware of Sidious' insatiable hunger for control. Mother Talzin, ever the strategist, might attempt to solidify the Nightsisters' independence, using their magics to safeguard Dathomir from becoming just another Imperial colony. Her plans, however, would likely clash with Sidious' own schemes, leading to an inevitable confrontation. Whether Talzin could outmaneuver Sidious or fall victim to his machinations would depend on her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of Sith politics. Yet, even if the Nightsisters fell out of favor, their legacy within the Empire would endure. Their teachings, artifacts, and rituals would be absorbed into the Sith Order, creating a hybrid philosophy that blended the cunning of the Sith with the mysticism of Dathomir. This new doctrine would shape the next generation of Sith, ensuring that the Nightsisters' influence would persist long after their time in Sidious service had ended. In this grim reality, the galaxy would face an uncertain future. With the Nightsisters and Sidious united, the balance of power would be irreparably altered, leaving little room for the light to reclaim its place. The struggle for freedom and justice, already fraught with challenges, would become a desperate fight against impossible odds. The rebellion, if it survived at all, would be forced to embrace tactics as ruthless as the Empire's, blurring the lines between heroism and villainy. The galaxy, steeped in the darkness of this unholy alliance, would stand as a testament to the devastating power of the Nightsisters and the terrifying genius of Darth Sidious. Together, they would weave a tapestry of fear and domination that no force, however strong, could easily unravel. Only a profound shift in the very essence of the Force, or the emergence of an unexpected and extraordinary champion, could hope to challenge the might of such a union. And even then, the cost of resistance would be unfathomable.